The invitation arrived 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. My daughter called in the middle of the afternoon while I was finishing a hem on a winter coat. The sewing machine was still humming softly when I answered. Her voice sounded careful. "Mom, we're hosting Thanksgiving this year, at Daniel's parents' house." Daniel was her husband. His parents owned one of the largest manufacturing companies in the state. I had seen pictures of the house once, stone columns, wide lawns, something that looked closer to a small estate than a home. "I'd like you to come," she said. There was a pause afterward. Not long but noticeable. "I'd like that," I said. Thanksgiving morning, I wrapped the pecan pie I had made and drove out to the address she sent me. The road curved past large gates and trimmed hedges before opening onto a driveway long enough to feel like its own street. The mansion was exactly what the photos suggested. Tall windows, stone steps. A door so large it seemed meant for a building rather than a family. I stood there for a moment with the pie in my hands before ringing the bell. My daughter opened the door. She looked beautiful, perfectly styled hair, an elegant sweater, everything coordinated in a way I never quite learned how to do. She hugged me quickly, then stepped back and looked at my coat. "You could have told me if you needed something nicer," she said quietly. "I would have helped you shop." "This one keeps me warm," I replied. Inside, the house smelled like roasted turkey and polished wood. Several people were already gathered in the living room, glasses of wine in their hands. Her father-in-law greeted me politely. Her husband nodded. No one was rude. But there was a distance that comes from people trying to decide where someone fits. During dinner, the conversation revolved around business, expansion plans, supply chains, market forecasts. The language was smooth and confident. I ate slowly and listened. At one point Daniel's father asked me what I used to do for work. "I'm a seamstress," I said. My daughter jumped in quickly. She used to sew for people in the neighborhood when I was growing up. The way she said it turned the sentence into something smaller than it was. I didn't correct her. After dinner she asked if we could talk privately. We stepped into a quiet sitting room that overlooked the back garden. Snow had begun falling lightly outside the windows. She folded her hands together. "Mom, Daniel and I have been thinking about your situation." "My situation? You live alone, you're getting older." She hesitated. "There's a really nice nursing home not far from here." I waited. "It's actually very comfortable," she continued quickly. $3,000 a month. Daniel and I could help cover it." The words landed softly, like something rehearsed many times. "You wouldn't have to worry about anything anymore," she added. I studied her face. She looked sincere. Concerned, even. But behind that concern was something else. Embarrassment. "You think I embarrass you," I said gently. Her eyes shifted away. "It's not like that." "It's a little like that." She sighed. "You don't understand the circles we move in now." I thought about the long nights when she was a child, asleep on the couch while I finished sewing dresses for 3 different clients before morning. I thought about the tiny apartment, the rent envelopes, the careful budgeting. "I understand work," I said. Before she could answer, my phone rang. My lawyer's name appeared on the screen. I almost ignored it. But something told me not to. "Excuse me," I said, stepping toward the window. His voice was calm but urgent. "We've scheduled an emergency board meeting tonight." "Tonight?" "Yes. There's a dispute forming among the minority shareholders. With your controlling stake, your presence will settle it." I was quiet for a moment. "Is it serious?" "It could become serious if we don't address it immediately." Across the room my daughter was watching me. I thanked him and ended the call. "You're still working?" she asked. "Sometimes." "With who?" "Westbridge Manufacturing." Her expression changed slightly. "That's Daniel's father's company?" "Yes." She frowned. "You sue for them?" I shook my head. "I own 51% of it." For a moment the room felt very still. She stared at me, as if trying to translate a sentence that didn't exist. "That's not possible." It's been possible for a long time. In the hallway we heard voices rising. Phones buzzing. Daniel appeared in the doorway a minute later, pale. "Dad just got a notice," he said. "There's an emergency board meeting tonight." He looked at me. "They said the majority shareholder requested it." I picked up my coat from the chair. "I should go," I said. No one tried to stop me. In the driveway the snow had begun to fall more heavily, covering the stone steps in a thin white layer. I sat in my car for a moment before starting the engine. Inside the house behind me, conversations were still unfolding. Realizations moving slowly through rooms that had once felt so certain about who I was. But none of that felt like victory. The harder truth stayed with me as I drove away. All the years I spent building something stable. Something strong enough to protect my daughter from the struggles I knew. Somewhere along the way, she had learned to see that life not as strength, but as something she needed to hide.